Hi, lovies. How are you? It is Thursday, September 19th, 2024. And today is kind of an impromptu discussion about updates with regards to a 25-year-old young man named Enrique Delgado-Garcia, who exactly 1 week ago today, on September 12th, last Thursday, was in theory, injured to an extent which he was transported to the hospital from Mass State Police Academy. And unfortunately and tragically, he lost his life. And since then, our community has really come together and we have rallied around the Delgado Garcia family. And I want to continue to say Enrique's name every chance I can. And the man who broke this all to us and gave the initial information and has been a support for not only the family, but the community as we search for answers of what happened to Enrique. It is the man, the myth, the legend, retired DEA agent Sean McDonough. And he is here with me tonight just to do a quick recap and any new information we have. And without further ado, here is El Jefe, Sean McDonough.
Thank you, Kim.
Oh, Sean, you're incredible.
And thank you to the chat. It's great to see the chat. Great to see you, Kim. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's always great to see you. You look fantastic, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Been a tough
Are
week.
you wearing an El Jefe shirt?
Yes, I am.
I love
My
that.
good friend sent it down to me. It was beautiful. Yeah. So,
That's
yeah,
so
tough
good.
week.
It
Tough
has
week,
been.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a week that I think that all of us, Sean, have like paused collectively, right? And taken a step back, listened. I know that your DMs, I know that your contacts have been just exploding, right? That, there are people
Right.
that I believe have been, in this class, in previous classes, families of Mass State troopers that are presently working or retired. This has really struck a chord in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts of things that have not been above board, I believe, for an extended period of time.
It's crazy. Listen, like I said a couple of times, I've been to 3 academies, 3.5, right? One was the jungle training survival school, but that wasn't an academy. That was worse. It was horrible. But I went to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center where all feds went at one time, except for the FBI. And they treated you like the way you're supposed to treat others. They didn't, it was tough. You had to run, but it wasn't gruesome where it was instructor-induced injuries. Then I went to the Virginia Training Academy when I went over to Arlington County. Same thing. It was all police work, physical education, physical fitness. You had to be in shape, right? But you weren't getting beat on. You weren't getting treated like you're like an infantry person going to boot camp. And then I went to the FBI Academy, right? Same thing. We boxed, we did all this stuff. But the biggest theme I heard from all the people in that class that's there now, in previous classes, they all said, the sad thing is, Sean, we all went in the best shapes of our lives. And we came out injured, not because we weren't in shape, because we were instructor-induced injuries. And the stories are wild, completely wild. And I get it. I get that's how they do it in Paris Island, Camp Palliser, whatever the hell, and some other military stuff. But those kids are going to war. These kids here are going out to write traffic tickets, most of them. If they're very good, have previous experience, they're going to probably get into a different area. But most of them are going on the road on the midnight shift, So,
Yeah. And you know what was scary, Sean, when I did like research, right? So, you know, my dad is, are you a Marine? Are you,
No, no,
oh,
you know,
sorry.
70, you know, I was, you know, I just missed that, you know, that whole thing
Yeah.
with the Vietnam War. So, you know,
Yeah. So my
but now I
dad
was a cop.
was,
So,
oh, yeah. No, my dad had gone
right,
to the Marines and he was in Paris Island, the land that God
sure,
forgot.
right,
And then he went to Vietnam. And when I was talking to him about this, because he had seen, you know, he said, that doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense here, Kim. And the thing is, like you are saying, these young men and women are not going to hostile, you know, territories. They're not
right,
going to active warfare. And this is completely inappropriate in my mind that they're doing more rigorous boot camps though
right,
than like you're saying specialized armed forces, different branches of the government.
right. I do remember when I was going through FLETC, they used to call it FLETC down in Glynn County, Georgia. The Border Patrol guys, they used to call them mean and green. Now, they had the toughest part. But then again, those guys were on the border. Those guys got into tussles even more so today. But back in 78, 79, they were still, I mean, they were getting their, you know, running forever and getting yelled at. But that was the most that they got. But the rest of the Secret Service and, you know, whatever, all the federal agencies all trained there. It was a great, great system. Now, if you messed up, you're going home. But you
Yeah.
weren't going to get beat. You weren't going to get the stupid drills to do. You know, I mean, I'll go into it later on, but I guess the moral of the story is these people were ready to be troopers, right? They knew it was going to be hard, but not degrading hard. You know, I mean, that's the problem here.
Yeah, no, I definitely I hear you on that one. And there was just a kind of a question I had for you, Sean, is
Sure.
as it relates to Todd McGee has gone on a couple of shows and as a former Mass State Trooper,
Yeah.
and he was actually the defense tactical, like he brought that program and the boxing back, okay, because it had
Right.
been suspended for a significant amount of time because
Right.
of injuries and bad outcomes. But when when they're talking about the three different phases, right? The academy at first is going to strip down the civilian. Then it is going to, the recruits are supposed to work together. That's phase 2.
Right.
Like the first part, the first 2 weeks is supposed to be the hazing, right? Where the problems, or not hazing, but like where they're taking the eye out of you and making you part of the bigger organization. And
Okay.
then phase 3, he said, is like was week 20 when Enrique was in there. And it said that, you know, that's when they do the boxing program. And I'm just very interested to hear your take on, do you think it should have come back? Do you think it should have stayed out? Is there a benefit or was there never anything good to come from it?
Well, I believe they have to have some kind of hand-to-hand combat because you are going to get into fights. You are. I mean, I mean, every time I was in uniform or as an agent, I was involved in a fight. You have to know how to fight. Now, that doesn't mean you end up dead. That doesn't mean you end up having your teeth broken out, right? But you got to remember, Todd has been retired since 2011. That's what, 13 years he's been gone? Right?
Yeah.
13 years he's been gone. So what happened to the program? They must have changed
Well,
it around, you know?
yeah, no, that's wild to me, Sean. And they said that also he was talking before, it was right after the press conference, or no, it was right after the press conference where he had said that he saw the video or that there was the video. Now,
Yeah.
I'd like to get into the video with you because this
Okay.
has never made sense to me. And I need to know if it was allegedly supposed to be 2 minutes, 1 round,
Right.
that's it per policy. That's it. They allegedly gave a video to the Delgado-Garcia family that was 8 minutes and showed Enrique not in a position that one would need to have emergency medical services and to be sent out to UMass Memorial and subsequently pass away.
Right. Okay. I don't know what video they showed them. I can tell you that I spoke to someone who was present. Okay. So the other person was this big dude, right? A guy who's known around the area that he could box. All right. And well, I'm getting conflicting stories. Towards the end of the training session, they have, I don't know if it's called fight night, or I don't know if it's fight for your life or whatever. But, you know, it's strange to me it's the last 2 weeks because this is the time you're supposed to be graduating. Pictures going to be taken. Why do you want to be beat up? You know,
Right.
fat lips or whatever, right? Well, anyways, no one volunteered. I guess, and listen, here's the other thing. There were retired troopers there. So that says to me that this was a planned event. This is a thing that I believe emerged as the classes went on, you know, say 77, 78, you know, 88, 89, 90. I think this was a thing that emerged as they were going. And maybe, okay, we're going to have the big fight tonight, fight all the guys over, the retirees, the off-duty guys, whatever. Because there were people there watching this whole thing, getting a kick out of it. Well, I guess it was other boxing matches, and then this kid stepped up. He's a yeah, I'll go, right? And no one wanted to fight him. No one. Enrique says, "Fuck it, I'll do it. I'll do it." And it was a bloodbath, right? Now I understand that he got knocked down once right off the bat. I mean, just a big time knockdown. One of the troopers that has the actual video, and then several of them have it. And they're showing their friends and they're showing their family. And this one person, I've got like 15 people I've spoken to, okay? And they said, this should have, right in that knockdown, that fight should have been stopped. It was a mismatch, okay? So Enrique gets back up again, right? And then he goes down again. And then they should have just stopped it because it was completely overmatched, right? He gets up again, and the way it was described that this kid, this other guy, hit Enrique with a punch that these people said they never seen a punch like this before, and took him right out. Now, we now know there's no ring per se. We don't know what kind of flooring they had. They didn't have any canvas, right? You know, like the MMA type people have canvas. They got the octagon.
Yes.
Boxes have canvas. It's not floor. You have a little bounce to
Give,
it, right?
yeah.
A little give, right? It's very possible that, you know, when you're out, you're out. But this is different. You know, you always say get them on the button. That's where, guys, you want to fight. You want to pick out your spot between the below the earlobe and the chin. Right in this area here is the sweet spot. You get them good, it's over with. They're going to go down. This kid had his neck broken. He lost everything. He got knocked out and the neck broken from that punch. So he probably went straight down. The arms are down. He goes flopping down, hits his teeth. The teeth are gone. He may have lost, because of the punch, he may have lost the mouth guard. All right. Now, I do have some enhanced pictures that I got recently. I don't know if you want to see them, because I've been in a lot of boxing matches as a boxer myself. Fought my brother a lot, not with gloves on, bare knuckles, and I've never seen these type of bruises before. I mean, we can get into it later if you want, but don't forget to let me show these bruises. It doesn't make sense.
Oh no, I'd love to see. Get it if you can show them.
I can show you right now.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can work this as a guest. I think I can present. Right, here we go. Share the screen. Is there any way you can help me? Let me see here. All right. This is one here. Okay. You got it? Can you put it on yours?
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to add it right now.
All right, now, okay. Look at that right there. Look at that bruising, Okay, start at the top of the shoulder. All right, listen,
Yeah.
you don't aim, you don't box the shoulders. Your target is not the shoulder.
No.
Right? All right, I'm going to have a different view of that. Hold on now. By the
Okay.
way, can you, the people are saying they can't hear me. Do you have any way to do anything with my volume on your end for some reason? Do you have a way to work my volume on your end? See the three dots over there? Can you work that volume?
The
Let me see this
three
one.
dots
Yeah.
over. Oh. Where is it, Sean? I'm so sorry.
I see it. See my picture down below on the left-hand side. There's three dots.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you could finagle that
Edit
a little
mic
bit.
settings.
Yeah. See what you can do with that.
Okay, I'm going to put you up
Right.
all the way.
There you go. Maybe better that way. So what do you got there? Now you can present that on your side. The picture I just gave you. How's
Okay.
that? How's that? All right, here we go. Now look at that. See the little, I mean, there's bruising that doesn't make sense. All right. And, okay, so you got the nipple, right? You got the nipple. And above that, you have this piercing, it looks like a dime-sized bruise. What the hell is that from?
Yeah,
I mean,
that looks like
you're the nurse. Look at that. You look at the nurse. Yeah, you're the nurse. You tell me what the hell that is. And down below too. I mean, you have a bruise, and then you have I don't know. Maybe that's a mole. I don't know. But it seems like it's like an asp. Someone said it might have been an asp, a baton. Right. That's right, Katie.
Well, that's what I was thinking from the hand-to-hand combat with the batons. Yeah.
Right. You know, and then of course, let's look at the leg. We'll have to see that now. Present, share screen, and now I picked up some on the leg recently. Right, look at the. So you got the leg. So
Sorry.
we're looking at the thigh on the left, right? So now look at the two bruising right here, right? Did it get bigger?
Yes.
It did get bigger, right? Look at the bruising. Look at that bruising right there. See the two dots there? I don't get those. It's almost like three dots, like a. You see that below the kneecap?
Like a hand, like
bruising.
fingerprints?
Yeah, like fingerprints. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that knee looks like it's very swollen. I don't know. I've got my leg. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. How would you assess that? They got something on his shin down there, some kind of cast, right?
Yeah, those are actually booties, Sean, like for your for circulation. Those
Okay,
that's
very
what we
good.
do those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those like they're for blood clots because he wasn't ambulatory. Yeah.
Well, anyways, those two, it looks like there's two reddish marks there that are fresh. And I really don't understand. If you're boxing a guy, right? If this is supposed to be a boxing match, right? Why are there strange little crazy things on different parts, like the shoulder part? You know, it's like someone was beating down on him.
Yeah.
So the video, allegedly, according to the family, had no timestamp, and it didn't look like anything crazy. It could have been a video from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You know, you don't know.
Well, and there was no timestamp on it either, right?
Right, exactly.
So how are you going to tell a family who has lost their loved one
Right.
that, like, in a senseless, tragic accident, or worse, right? Or
Right.
could be nefarious and worse. How are you supposed to tell them to just, like, here, I'm telling you, this is when it was, but
Right.
it's not matching up with time. It's not matching up with, could they actually see that it was him? If he had a headgear
Right.
on, could you see
Exactly.
that could you actually identify him? I don't know.
It could have been a video from 2 classes ago. We don't know. All I know is this. He was brought in a week ago today. He was DOA other than having the life support system. It was over with. Now No one said anything. They kept it cool. And when I heard the news, I just thought, oh, it was another thing in training where maybe the kid got, dehydrated, fell, passed out. That's usually the injuries that come out, right? So I didn't pay any attention to it until I got the call the next morning, 11 o'clock, from a hero. Just said, Sean, you're not going to believe this. Are you sitting down? And I said, yeah. I said, listen, that recruit died. I said, the kid from last night? Yeah, he's dead. I said, from what? 3 broken vertebrae, teeth missing, and massive injuries to the back of his head. I said, how the hell can that happen? Broken, some contusions all over his body. I said, how the hell can that happen with 16-ounce boxing gloves? Now, the MMA people have 4-ounce little gloves, right? 4-ounce, they had 12-ounce more of padding, right? And they're like puffing. They're like, listen, you're not going to get hurt. I mean, you're going to let the kid hit you in the nose. I don't give a shit what you get hit in the nose. You're going to feel it. But generally speaking, it's not going to hurt you. Now, you get hit by a guy like Conor McGregor, right? You're going down. But then again, they don't break their necks when they go down. I've seen guys go down big time, hit the mat, boom, and they don't break their necks.
So, that's interesting that you say that, Sean, because I wanted to bring that up just because of my medical stuff. So when it's now been, reported by Turtle Boy about the C7, like that C7, that's the base, right? That's the bottom. And my concern for your cervical spine is that is very rare. And I would believe that it could have potentially been a cervical thoracic joint that he actually fractured, which is a very rare injury, but it would cause a spinal cord injury. So it's not just you fracturing, guys. What I need you to understand is that Enrique's respiratory status was depressed, right?
Right.
He was not able to breathe on his own. He had a brain hemorrhage, a brain injury, what I believe will be determined as likely a spinal cord injury. And like you are saying, Sean, I looked that up as for a boxing, and I said amateur, right? Because these aren't professional boxers.
Right.
I said, I Googled what the NIH, all right, the National Institute of Health, because I needed to know. And they did a boxing study in 2022. And there is 0.0% that came out of over 10,000 participants over 5 years. So the top issues that would occur was concussion, laceration, which we would understand, contusion, all right, soft tissue injury, and a musculoskeletal sprain or cartilage, aka if you've got a whack to your nose and broke your nose. But other than that, those are injuries you would expect. Todd McGee, the retired trooper, told us that and I mean this in a loving way because I appreciate everything that he has talked about. He's very sympathetic. He never wanted the program to go like that.
Right.
But he stated that the reason, or when it ended up turning like they had to suspend the program, it was for bloody noses and bloody lips, and that one person went to the hospital in the early 2000s, but that there was no deaths ever.
No, listen, bloody noses, bloody lips, that means that the other person that got the bloody nose, bloodiness has never been in a fight. And when you get it, you won't get it again. That's why that's a good thing, right? If you've never experienced something in your life, right? Well, on the street, when your life is depending on it, is not the time to experience it. Now that person knows what it's like to get hit in the nose, right?
Yeah.
Hit in the mouth. And you draw from your experiences, right? Like myself. I'm a city kid. I hated camping. I wouldn't go to camping with the bugs and all that shit. They threw us out in the jungle. They exfilled us in, right? Put us in. I mean, And then it was 4 nights, 4 days, 4 nights, and 4 canteens of water. That's it. I hated it. And it rained every night. Triple canopy jungle. And it was in Fort Sherman, Panama. I friggin' hated it. But you know something? It was a haul. If you went down in a plane, This is how you're supposed to survive. And guess what? Even though it sucked, I had something, God forbid, if it ever happened to me, to draw from. That this thing, I'm understanding, was after either the first or second time, the DIs are saying, get up, finish him, take him out, kill him. This is what the DIs are doing. And this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that this was a publicized event within the troops, within the retired troops, within the off-duty troops. And for these mofos to be sitting back, right, who were there, and not saying anything, that's the travesty right there. Right there. Now, those are the people. But then again, we don't know, listen, they're describing this punch, the death punch, they're calling it. So if Enrique was standing upright and he got caught, okay, well, did he get caught and he went back down and then snapped his neck? Listen, when you're out, you're out. Your legs buckle, you have no function. And then, like you said, with the back, actually the cervical breaking of his vertebrae, he went down like building blocks going down, and he hits his head full force, and God knows what happened. What kind of flooring? It was probably one of these concrete floors, slippery concrete floors. There was no ropes, no canvas, nothing. That's the problem. And there's a lot of negligence here. There is no doubt that the ME has to classify this as homicide. This is not an accident.
There is no way.
No way.
Yeah.
It all depends. It has to be homicide. Then now it depends on the investigation as to, okay.
Well, because a homicide is what, Sean? It's death at the hands of another. That's
person.
It.
Right.
It's not saying that you can't,
not suicide.
Exactly.
Not
and it is
accident.
not saying that you're, that it's you causing the death of another. You did it, like this person.
Yeah. Some other human, homicide, some other human caused that death, or humans. Now listen, I think the whole school, from the DI all the way up, are on the hook for this. I don't think the kid that was fighting is on the hook. He was put there. He was trained to do that. I believe the DIs, I'll go even further. Those onlookers who carry a badge and a gun, who came into that academy and watched that fight and did nothing, they're on the hook. At least for no charge, at least for civil suits, they've got to be on the hook. And those retirees, forget it. This is a shitstorm.
Yeah, and there is actually, and I'm going to say it because now I've gotten it from multiple sources, including active state troopers, that in the academy, that there was all the way up to the highest ranking for fight nights, that there was bets placed by senior bets that they were putting money to see which recruit they thought would win. And to me, Sean, I almost vomited when I know that, like, I get that there's not maybe much to do and you don't have your phones and maybe you think that that's funny or it's innocent. That is despicable. And that they would give more money, however bad the kid got it.
Yeah.
From one, like, hey, and then that made sense, because if they're saying, kill him, get him, I mean, are they trying to win a wager here? And Enrique Delgado-Garcia lost his life over it.
That's right. This is going to be a shitstorm. I'll tell you right now. And there's a lot of people on the hook here. A lot. And listen, they've got sign-in sheets. They've got video of them people coming in. I know even back in the 70s, Quantico was always, you couldn't get in and out without being seen on video camera by the guards. You had to sign in, sign out. I mean, this is going to be a shitstorm. And the fact, listen, I said this the other day, it took the state police and Norfolk County District Attorney's Office 3.5 days to frame Karen Reed and arrest her. 3.5 days. No video, no witnesses. This right now has been one friggin' week. There's witnesses, there's video, yet there's no arrests.
It's shameful.
Kidding me? But this is
It's
what
so
happens.
shameful.
In that statement they gave to NBC 10, we don't condone this, hazing, disrespect, LBGQ2 stuff, whatever that stuff is, right? We don't condone that. Well, guess what? That tells me the cover up is coming. And
Yeah.
they think they're going to hokey doke the family. Really? No, well, guess what? We're way ahead of this. And the other thing that pisses me off, all the other anti-Karen readers right out there, they haven't said a word, not one word. Here we are channeling everything, marshaling everything for this poor kid, right? All right. And he was made a trooper. Yet the other, like the Kevins of the world and True Wine Crime, whatever her name is.
Yep.
Crickets, Captain Marvelous, Dougal, nothing. All those Braden, Craden, whatever his name is. You got the other fools. Zero, nothing, not one thing.
And they still are attacking us on something that is when I'm posting a GoFundMe for a 25-year-old who lost his life, or I'm saying, that I'm trying to, just wanting to be as helpful as I can. And then they bring it back to Karen Reed. And and that like, I'm the worst person ever because I believe Karen Reed. So, that shows a derangement syndrome, in my opinion, Sean. And we have a guest. We've got a mofo Dave.
Let me say this, Sean, you're gonna like this, right?
All right.
So when one guy is walking down an aisle and another guy's coming down the same aisle right at him, right?
Yeah.
The real man doesn't move out of the way for the other guy, right?
Right.
That's what happened yesterday. Big Y, Walpole, Massachusetts. Brian Albert coming mano a mano with Dave Cullinan, and you better goddamn believe I was not moving out of the way
for you.
Brian
Right there,
Albert.
Route 1 with the Walmart on the left-hand side, right?
Right there. Brian Albert with his hat down low, as if none of us would know it was him.
Good for
and
you,
all these
man.
you see all these things online about he's intimidating and the guy that Wahlberg hired for his show. Nope, no longer. I don't know what happened after retirement, but no more. I think everything you've been saying about him is pretty accurate. So
did he say
yes.
Was he wearing a sweat vest?
He was not wearing a sweater vest. No, he was not. He was wearing some kind of ugly sweatshirt, but he did not look good. I mean, that's.
Did you say hi? Did you say hi?
I was with my kids, so I couldn't.
Oh yeah.
But I stood up a little straighter. I wasn't. My head was not down low. I've said some things, and I'm sure he's heard it. So, but yeah, on top of things, I apologize.
You're on the right. You're on the right side. You don't move for no one.
No,
you
can't
move
do it.
No
and as Kim knows, I'm on Fit Dave mode, so I'm not moving. It doesn't even matter. Brian Albert, it doesn't matter who. I'm not moving for anybody. All right.
Good for you, man. You look great.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
He's mushroom coffee, and he is just zero visceral belly fat.
That's what
on
it is.
Mofo Cullinan.
That's what it is. So I missed some of your beginning stuff, but I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll just say kind of what I've been seeing and hearing, which I think is a lot of similar things to you, Sean.
Circular.
I stick with Kim. I stick on the TikTok world, and it just seems like, every fiance, every girlfriend, every mother of all these guys in there at the academy is reaching out and just talking about obviously the hazing, talking about some of them saw the actual altercation and the incident, which is first and foremost absolutely tragic, and my heart goes out to that family. And sometimes I feel a little shitty about myself because I'm an asshole by nature, and I immediately start wanting to fight back, right? And you got to take a second. You got to take a second to realize what the family's going through right now. And so I'm so sorry to those guys, but I just can't fathom. I texted you yesterday, Sean. It's been a week. I've seen you tweet it.
Yeah.
How has it been a week? This is an open and shut case. We're hearing about it's simple. All right. Why are we not? I said this to you, Kim, on the phone today. Why are we not throwing people under the fucking bus? We're talking about like one drill instructor. Like, we're not going to throw him under the bus because he let this thing go way too far. We're not going to take care of that guy right away. And a family just lost their son and their, brother, sister, cousin. It's embarrassing. Like, where do we live? Throw that guy to the wolves and let's clean up the place because it's obviously an absolute travesty what's been going on there. You and I and Kim, we're not sissies. We know hazing goes on in the world.
Right.
What we're reading about from these kids, this isn't hazing. It's fucking torture. It's mental warfare is what people have described it to me as. So let's clean this shit up. And the fact that they think they can get away and try to even behind the scenes pull off some kind of cover up. Somebody let this go on. So show him to us, fire him, reprimand him in some capacity, and let's at least start building back some form of credibility within that organization. It's embarrassing. 7 days. Like, what are we doing?
Like I said to the team earlier, 3.5 days to frame and arrest Karen Reed, right?
Right.
Will they have an arrest before poor Enrique is buried? That's what I want. They got to make an arrest. I don't give a fuck if they take a year to get the full package done. One person has to be cuffed up right now.
But where's the pressure though, Sean? Like the pressure is coming from you guys right here. It's coming from some people on Twitter and but like they don't take that shit seriously.
No.
They take seriously when the governor or something wants to say something, or when the Boston Globe really starts to get their hands dirty and write some columns or something like that. Nobody's doing that right now. Maura Healey was riding around on a horse on some PR tour the other day. Like, nobody's doing anything.
He was going to the Big E today.
Going to the Big E. It's like it's you shake your head. It's like, what needs to happen to make some changes in what looks like some of the easiest situations that you could take care of. We've talked ad nauseum about Sandra Birchmore, which we did on the case season 2. Yeah, that was open and shut. Do you know how easy that was? Like, I always say when Kirk had the balls to say, he didn't believe this was suicide on a major platform, and nobody, you didn't read a Boston Globe opinion piece saying that or anything like that. It's kind of a dangerous territory to actually go out there. He said it. He had the balls to do it. But guess what? He had the balls to do it because it was fucking obvious.
Well, I can tell you right now, he's coming out swinging big time now. I've been following all his little wow. He is taking some serious shots.
But this is, and we've been monitoring this just like you are. The problem that we're having is nobody wants to go on record, and no, but the family, if the family talked, like, I don't know, my heart just breaks for them. I don't even want to pressure them to do anything. Obviously, I don't want them to say, but I just want somebody to come out on the record and say exactly what happened. We know what happened. Like, we know it. Yeah, but we need somebody with the guts to come forward and say exactly what happened. And right now, it's not there. To be honest, I'm a fucking pussy, to be honest with you. 2 weeks before graduation, would you do that? I wouldn't come forward. That's a scary moment. Like, that's a tough thing to ask for them. You would think somebody with, some form of integrity that works inside that academy as a drill instructor or somebody of higher up value there would come forward and say exactly what happened and who is to blame, and let's move on. It's easy.
Dave, Mofo Dave, Dave, I really believe that most of them are complicit in this. You're going to find out. They were cheering this whole thing on. And that's wrong. It's wrong. Right.
The culture has been this, boys. The culture. This is pervasive. It's not just the recruits. It's not just the DIs. It goes all the way up to provost, who runs the program. Let's additionally remember that 2 years ago, another off the record or off the books scandal occurred with the bear crawl, right? Where 20 recruits were injured. This is not an isolated event. And if you take one of the spokes out of the wheel, guys, another cog will be put in. You need to break the wheel on this one, in my opinion.
Well, I'm sure you guys have said it. Like, they're lucky that this is the first time something like this has happened. And I know there's been injuries, but something of this magnitude, because, it's very, very clear and apparent. And I've had people reach out to me. You've had them. This has been going on for so long that I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked that this is the first time. I mean, we've heard of problems there, but to this degree, and it seems like it was a recipe for disaster inside that academy.
So I spoke to a recruit that was in Proctor's class 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, made it out. But, and there's a kind of a parallel here. Enrique was very well liked. He was people came to him, right? This person I spoke to was well liked too, okay? And the instructors took that as offensive. And because this person was so well liked, they were betting, taking bets on when this person would wash out, or when this person would just give up and just leave. This person took a concussion, didn't put the person down. This person did something else. These sea bags, I don't know, 50, 80-pound sea bags. It doesn't matter how big you are, right? The bigger you are, the better. The smaller you are, the worse, right? But Enrique was well liked. Okay, you can tell it. I don't know if you heard this yet, Dave. You might have with these people coming out, right? There was an issue about the class logo, okay? And they wanted to have the thin blue line, the blue line, okay? Enrique stood up and said, I don't believe, he said, that's corny. I don't believe we should have that. It's 2024. We don't need that. That pissed a lot of the recruits and the DIs.
Right.
And so was that was that something that motivated this big goon to step up and Enrique to fight him on and keep fighting? I don't know.
I do. I mean, and I don't think you meant, because we don't know all the facts around it when you say big goon, and I don't mean this disrespectfully in any way.
Yeah.
I just think that academy, from all the things that I've heard, it's breeding a culture of, it's literally causing mental health problems almost immediately to these individuals going in there. And so we don't know that the person that Enrique was fighting, they might have been scared shitless to not do what those drill instructors are telling that person to do. If they're saying, beat him, don't stop, don't quit, end it. Like, they don't, like, they're so manipulated in their brain after everything that they've gone through. They're in fear of not doing what they're saying, even though it's so normal to you and I looking back now that they should have stopped. But in their head in that moment, they're just listening to their drill instructor because they're warned.
And the person I also spoke to this day, still suffers from PTSD out of that class. This is more than 10 years later. And the person made it out, graduated, right? And then the other person, right, well, you heard the tapes. I mean, this person, same class, right? The same class. Night terrors every night. Flailing the arms, choking out the dog. Unwittingly, doesn't even know it. This is the issue. And the problem is, it's got to change. You can't. And the other thing is, you have 4 of the DIs are former Marines. Okay, I have nothing against Marines. I have nothing at all. My brother was a Marine. Listen, I love it. There's a time and place, but these guys can't inflict. They're training from Paris Island or Camp Pendleton to a law enforcement training academy. It doesn't equate. These poor kids are not going out to war. Most of them are going to be writing tickets up in friggin' Lennox somewhere.
Exactly.
Well, and here's the other thing, though, guys, is that we need to discuss that. How is this? First of all, it's not. Provost would like us to believe that this is scientific-backed training. It might have been in 1983. It is not since you've come into the 2000s. Absolutely not. We have only gotten better with saying that, like, mental health concerns. We have a crisis, an epidemic in this country of not only our veterans that have mental health, the battle, what do we call it? The wounds that are seen and unseen, right? Our veterans, our police officers, the training of any sort of combatants like that. It is just something that you are setting people up for a lifetime. For the rest of their life, they're serving a sentence, okay? And this is the problem.
And by the way, not just them.
Oh, their families,
their significant others, their family. I had a woman. I had a guy tell me his brother was in there. He texted him all the crazy hazing things and the anxiety that his brother had. That guy was throwing up every night after he talked to him. Like, he developed all these issues because he was so, like, emotionally upset for his brother.
But how is it not standard? How is it not standardized? This is what I'm just saying, is how do you have Canton police officers, like, no offense, Kevin Albert, okay? But then like, and you know, the Canton Police Academy, or like, there is nothing in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that's streamlined or that would indicate that you are law enforcement. It's all under the same chapter 20, whatever, like whatever your chapter is for you to serve as general law, and that you have these police academies. Why is this one so like out of the ballpark of any other realm of normal training? Sean, why?
Some because they want to separate themselves. I told someone today, or another show, when I went up to Springfield as a DEA agent, listen, I mean, I was a cop before. I already had my years in, but my boss said, Sean, when you deal with these guys, the troopers, don't worry. Just remember, it's them, God, and family. Don't throw DEA in their face, because they could give two shits. Yep. And to a lesser extent, listen, the guys I work with were great, right? But when you come out of an institution for 25 weeks and it's ingrained in you, and they strip you down at the beginning, right? But the thing is, when you get out and you're filled with this pride, no one's better than you. You're better than God. You go on a trip.
Right.
And you're right, Dave. Families do suffer. Wives suffer, right? They suffer. Children, everyone, family members, the whole nine.
Well, you can even just tell, like, it's hard on the majority of people reaching out to me actually are like fiancés or girlfriends,
right?
And you can tell how hard it is for them listening to this stuff that their significant other is telling them, and then in a moment like this happens, obviously. And they just want to go out there and share the truth. Like, they want change to happen for their significant other and for the next person, but they can't do it because their significant other, like, is going to graduate, or he's part of the brotherhood. Like, they're now mind fucked, when really this just comes down to right or wrong. Like, listen, I'm not like going to sit here. I've actually said it on Kirk's show and things like that. Like, I understand the element of hazing in the sense of like creating a brotherhood and acting as a team. Like, I understand it, but what's happening? And I know it's 2024, right? So that's like weird to say, I guess, or something. But what's happening there cannot be classified as hazing. It's whatever the 5 steps above that is.
Right.
It's torture. It's absolutely torture. I'm hearing like even dumb stories, and I don't know. It's tough to hear any story with the hazing, but like I heard today, like the troopers found a letter. Did you hear this story? Like, they found a letter from one of the recruits about like how bad the food was. He wrote it to his girlfriend or to his mom or something. They found it. They made him get in front of everybody and read it, and then including the cook and the staff there. It's just like, why do we have to grade people to that level? And I know it's like the minor stories that we've heard, but it's just.
So the Haitian kid that was on the other night interview, Baptiste. All right. Enrique's friend told me that Enrique was the guy tap to go into that kid's room every 2 minutes. Quit. Had to say it 10 times and then leave, and then come back 2 minutes later. Quit.
Yep.
Think about this. So they were trying to break him down, break Enrique down from being like the well-liked kid, and then trying to mentally torture this kid, right? That's trying to sleep, right? Quit. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy, because you're harming 2 people.
Right. So I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm happy to see you two coming out, other people, but like, how long is this going to take? It's like
exactly
so like easy to me, and
that's simple.
Hard about this stuff, and you got to fight like staying on it, because you end up moving on away onto the next story and almost forgetting about this. It's so fucking basic. It's so. Poor Healy, all she has to do, go to whether it be Mon or the new guy or whatever, and this shit up tomorrow. Like, tell me exactly who was there, and we're done. And we're throwing somebody to the wolves. Kim, I was telling you today, like, when Karen Reed thing was going on, the Massachusetts State Police was just, obviously Karen Reed's still going on, but when they were getting shit on left and right, I kept saying to people and to Kirk, I said, well, why don't they just throw Matt Farwell to the wolves? Because they have him. Like, don't they? They're getting the crap court of public opinion. why don't you take down Matt Farwell and like win back some favor? And they can't do that because they can get in their brains, they can get away with everything,
Sure.
and it's
Right.
and it starts at that fucking academy. And if the governor doesn't realize that, if the attorney general doesn't realize that, we got some. I mean, I know we have major problems, but it's just reinforced now. Like this state is an
Right.
absolute train wreck.
Exactly. And here's the other thing: we don't even know who's been tapped to investigate this piece of shit. I mean, that's
Not
what I'm
yet.
saying.
Yeah.
What's taking so long?
I actually
I mean,
thought
this is great.
I think it was the Attorney General, Andrea Campbell, was on WGBH today, and they asked her about it. And she actually made a good point because I was saying, all right, why don't you just take it on and go? But she might have to represent the state of Massachusetts if this goes to some kind of civil suit or something like that, I think. So they can't do it, right? So the Attorney General can't investigate it. They're not going to give it to another DA's office.
Yes.
Heads are the only ones left. I mean, that's just happen, you know?
You can't give it to the Southbridge Police Department.
No.
I mean, come on, what are you going to do? Come on.
No, it's got to go fed.
They have to go federal. They have to go federal.
Look at that. Like, have we seen one record of it? Like, do we have one incident report out there from I've made the record. I've
Dave, you're going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I still? I was just asking, have you guys seen incident reports? Sorry if that's repetitive.
No, nothing. Everything's locked down. Everything. Even the charts. I understood. Was it you, Kim, or someone else told me?
Yeah.
That the chart.
So I wanted to just say that about the charts, because like that's a big deal for if you don't work in a hospital system. And when Turtle Boy reported on that, guys, I want you to understand that the police, right? It was Mass State Police that had brought him in from the academy, right? He shouldn't have been brought in with BLS because I did find out from the policy and procedures of New Braintree that they're all ALS, or they should all be ALS certified. Okay, so they should have been able to advance life support, assist Enrique en route, even though we know, God forbid, his injuries were too severe. But we have what's called in Epic. This is a charting system that major hospitals use. Epic has what we call break the glass. And there are certain specific high profile things and cases and humans. You could even ask for your own privacy. But what you have to do is this wall, it locks you out, right? So this was that certain, like, even staff was having to log in and then put reasons for why they were going into this chat and what they needed. Well, ball bags on these mofo police officers that were walking in there, harassing nurses and telling them, I need this information. What's the diagnosis? That never flies. And I want any nurse who is ever in a position where a cop tries to intimidate you, you do not back down for your patients. Okay, lovies? You stay strong, because yes, you have to provide the following, just the demographics, a name, a date of birth, a sex, and that's it, right? That is all you provide to law enforcement until there is a subpoena or you have a court order, babes, because you providing that information and them breathing down the back of your throat, I got something for you, Mass State Police. It's right there. And I'm going to tell you this. Another thing is that why I was wondering, I couldn't get over it. So I had to call my connections. Okay. Because I used to go every single week into UMass Memorial. That was my hospital that I did my wound consults in. So I know it like the back of my hand. What you guys need to understand is that there are UMass Memorial cops. They look just like who? Worcester cops, right? But the UMass Memorial cops, the hospital cops because now it's a whole system in the school, so it's like UMass, it's a whole cluster, and their policing department is so large, they were able to take, I believe, badges from the UMass Memorial cops, and the Mass State Police were able to ask all the questions. Give me a badge, because they're interconnected. Everything that they do at that UMass Memorial, they're right with Worcester, and they are allegiant to Mass State Police. So somebody gave their badge and their access to get in there, in my opinion.
Right.
Well, you know, there should be a lot of investigation going on, even over there. It should be widespread. They gotta break that culture. They gotta break that culture.
Isn't it fascinating though? And today, by the way, I'm like I'm in the car, so I'm disappearing.
Oh, I miss you. Where are you?
Disappearing to the darkness at the moment.
Put your dome light on. Can you put your dome light on?
I forgot my keys. I was trying to do that when Kim was talking. But it's amazing in 2024 that they think that they can pull off these cover-ups. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you found out that this incident Thursday night. Like you found out on Thursday night.
Right.
And then immediately, if you want to, you can click your phone and talk to 30,000 people on YouTube if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can send out a tweet and it can get retweeted and 100,000 people can see it in a matter of 5 minutes.
Right.
These people think that the world is not going to find out who this drill instructor is. They really believe that. And I'm telling them.
That's what I did on Friday morning.
Yeah.
Put it out at 12:08. It was crickets. No one, I mean, my people did. Oh, Sean, this is awful. But yeah, they're probably saying, oh, fucking Sean's off his meds again. He's putting out shit that doesn't.
But here's the thing.
What it did.
They're so fucking arrogant that they have no idea. Like, I could go on and do a video tonight, and one simple sentence that I say randomly could inspire some person within that academy to just say, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I'm going to say something. For some reason, that hasn't happened in 7 days. But I'm telling you, like, it's going to happen. And, you know, investigation or not, we're finding out who that drill instructor is. It's in due time. Like, at some point, somebody's going to see something that inspires them, and they're going to react. So they got to stop.
That's why we keep saying it, Dave. Like, that's what you're saying. That's why Sean is so
he's been
passionate.
identified. He's been identified already. The drill instructor for Enrique's platoon. Now, I don't know if the drill instructor was for the event, but his platoon is this kid Jeff Smith. Right, that was already given, and his best buddy showed me texts back and forth between the best buddy and Enrique. Said, "Yeah, this guy fucking smokes us all the time. He's a dickhead. He's this. He's up my ass." I got the text. Right.
Now, I've heard his name. I haven't heard if he was the one, you know, who did the standing 8 count and said, "Go get back in there" and all that shit. That's what we don't. But that's coming. Like, that'll be confirmed. Yeah,
we don't know. We don't know if that was the guy, but then we know he was present, right, with his platoon. That's what we do know. And shame on him for not recognizing that his guy was losing big time.
Right.
I mean, losing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you saw those pictures, Dave.
I did.
Man, these bruises. I mean, this kid took he got pummeled. That's all I can say. He got pummeled.
Right. That's what it sounds like. And then finding out if more, it doesn't, enough people have reached out to me. It does feel like what happened in that ring, right? Like, there was a little bit of, my initial thought after seeing those injuries was like, did that happen? Did they take him out back, or, you know, like, that's what it almost felt like. But
you got these unique little, like, dime-sized bruises in the middle of a massive bruise. And like the leg there, I'm looking at the picture I had before, these little, I don't know why. Maybe they picked them up. I don't know. There's impressions.
Well, maybe they were holding him down, you know? I mean, I don't know. Like, at one point, I mean, as much as we think we know what ended it, Sean, like, maybe there was something in between that it needed, like, you know, hey, don't get back up. And somebody was grabbing, because it looks like it could almost be, you know, fingerprints almost.
Right.
I agree with Dave. This is not difficult. This is a very simple thing to investigate, and should be done now. It should be over with.
Right.
This should be tied up with a little bow and brought to whatever the agency is going to not investigate, prosecute. Who's going to prosecute it?
Right.
You know.
And
Gotta be the
and
best.
that early guy in that press conference was, you know, I know we're probably being repetitive on some of the stuff you
Right.
guys have talked about already, but like, you didn't see the video. Like, spare me first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like, what a joke.
Well, his own ADA showed the family
Yeah.
the video, and he
Right.
didn't take the time out to see it.
Please.
One of the worst
Come on.
incidents of
Yeah.
his career. He's not going to look at it. That's
Right.
bullshit.
It was
It's
disgusting that he had that family there, that he made
Oh,
that family go under a pretense of
ruse.
this
A
is
ruse.
going to be something when he knew that they wanted privacy.
Right.
Shame on you,
It was
Joe
a
Early.
ruse.
You haven't helped Molly Bish, you and her sister Heather Bish.
Right.
You've asked for Allie Bebo because she was a judge's daughter to get away with what she,
Right.
like make it all go away. Joe Early is no friend to anyone, in my opinion,
No.
in this situation.
Right. How pathetic. I mean, it's so pathetic that all of a sudden, like, Josh Levy's going to come in and save the day on the
Again.
easiest.
I'll take
like,
it.
Well, I know, but and we know that's going to happen. But like, how pathetic is that? Like,
It shouldn't have to.
Embarrassment.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment.
On Saturday, it should have been, this is what happened. We know
Over.
exactly who the players are. This is this is who we reprimanded or fired or whatever had to happen. And the news cycle would have moved on to the next one, to be completely honest. It would have went to, William Farwell's post-commission hearing today or something like that. It wouldn't have stayed. And instead, they drag it out, and more people start to whisper things, and more politicians start to ignore it or give bullshit statements that mean nothing. And here we go again. And it probably lasts another week or two.
And the fact that
God.
Mon, someone in the command, has not get out in front of a TV camera and talk live to the press speaks volumes.
Yep.
What are they hiding from?
Right.
This is their watch. It's on his watch.
Literally.
He has to do something.
Right.
It's crazy.
100%. And does the new guy start next week?
October 1st.
October 1st.
October 1st. So.
Yeah, he gets sworn in October 1st.
Yeah.
But this is just disgraceful. It's disgraceful for the Delgado-Garcia family. And that's why we keep speaking, guys. Right. That's why, because if it's not being taken care of, we know that Maura Healey's not coming out and saving anyone. A mainstream media is, doing, I guess, a little bit here and there. But that's why you have Sean McDonough, retired DEA agent, who is passionately supporting and saying, we're going to keep saying Enrique's name. We will not forget him. We will not abandon his family. And this is another stain, not only on the Massachusetts State Police, Governor Maura Healey, but it taints the Commonwealth further when we're on a downward trajectory. So, may, God save the Queen on this shit, because it is so despicable that citizen journalists can be picking up and saying, wait a minute, or like not even journalists, nurses, DEA agents, Daves, just sitting there going, hey, you're also an award-winning journalist. I'm sorry for the case season 2.
Yes.
But he's not mainstream media, and he's sitting there and and again, another example of you all turning the other way for a family who died on your watch. Mm-hmm. Shame on you.
I want to say one thing, and you literally cannot see me anymore, so I might as well turn off my camera. We talk about supporting the family, and I know the three of us. I know our personalities. I've seen it enough. Like, we can come off rough, and we can yell things, and we can swear or whatever. We're not just supporting the family. We are supporting good police officers at the same time by calling bad police work and bad police officers assholes. Like, we are doing that simultaneously. And that's what people don't really get. They all of a sudden you get the DMs being like, oh, you don't support the police. Are you fucking, I have family members in police. You guys have family members. Your history, Sean, calling this shit out is exactly what the good people want. And the Massachusetts State Police should be absolutely ashamed to continue to reiterate that this wasn't wrapped in a bow on Saturday afternoon, because there's thousands of other police officers in this state that would have wrapped it up in a bow, or would have wanted to at least. And there's absolutely no reason they didn't. So that's my final.
The wall of shame, they put whoever washes out or leaves or quits or gets injured, they put their cap up on the wall, as they're going in to get their chow. Well, the other guy sent me something, and he said, not only that, Sean, but then this cap here gets put on a kid that they really want to get on. And it's one of those goofy little things with the propeller on the top. You saw that. Who used to wear that? I forget who it was. And that's embarrassing.
I don't know.
I mean, that's putting the target on someone's back, right? You know, he might be the kid that's holding their platoon down on a 3-mile run, you know, and they have to do it, you know, and they're going to ride on him. Well, guess what? All right. If you humiliate, why don't you just lift the kid up? Lift him up.
Right.
Don't strip him down. And you know something, if he has to go, he has to go, or she has to go, whatever.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you know, treat him with respect and have a fireside chat with him. These DIs think they're like, you know, what's his name? In Top Gun, what was it, Mahoney, or what was the DI's name?
Maverick.
Yeah.
I know who you mean.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. And listen, even he had a heart, you know. Anyways, just saying.
No, and listen, like I said, I get the camaraderie aspect of something, but like, put a goofy hat on me every now and then, as long as some of the other times you're making it seem like, you know, that this is a real brotherhood, and I did do a good job at this other thing. Like, but it seems like they get in there on day one, and they beat these men and women to a pulp physically and mentally, and they don't stop until, you know, they're graduated, basically. Yeah. And it's crazy to me.
Well, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be the 3 phases, and it's supposed to be that they break you down, they haze you the first phase. Second phase is camaraderie and build up, and third phase is supposed to be when the cadets are working on they're being more independent, and they don't have to have the DIs. This is why, Dave, we know, and I've requested, and I have somebody doing a little sleuthing for me I want that program. Show me that program. I want to know the policies, the procedures, the manual, everything. It should be able for someone to have a copy of it for us to go through and see, here is where you failed. Here is where you failed the community. Here is where you failed your recruits. And here is where you failed the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And you'll pay the price for it.
Right. And think about the expense. There's an expense for every student, every recruit that goes through that academy. And you want to be able to push that kid through. You want to have the kid exceed, succeed, right? And if he has to have extra help in the gym or running, give him extra sprints, whatever it takes. But don't strip him. Don't make him hate it that he wants to be there. If he has to wash out, he washes out. But,
All right. Well, listen, Dave, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock on our show.
Talk to you guys.
Bye, Dave. And El Jefe, do you mind, just because I wasn't able to take any, can I just read some chats if anybody had questions for you, and then I'll let you go.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. All right. So first we have AKA the Cat Lady. It's okay to say Enrique was murdered. There's no other word for what happened. You're absolutely right, Lovey.
That's true. Cat Lady.
Then, and that's so, unfortunately, it feels so callous. It feels so hurt, or heartless, but at the end of the day, Sean, that's what it is, no matter how you slice it.
Then we have to say something right now. Real quick. Where's the Hispanic community?
They're in my DM. They're big.
But I want to know, why aren't they marching in Worcester? There's a big Hispanic community in that area. Where are they? Why aren't they protesting? This was one of their people. I hate to put this down like this, but where's the outcry from the Hispanic community, right? To protest what happened in there, to put pressure, right? Why are we the only ones getting on there? There should be cameras out there putting big signs out for Enrique, anything. The Hispanic community needs to step up, put pressure. I'm going to talk to whoever, Cynthia or whatever, with that family. Get the people in Worcester. There's a big community in Worcester, huge community.
Absolutely. I
South
think maybe
Bridge.
they're just trying to wait till after his services, and then they can do that. Well, so hopefully, because I'm going to tell you this, if one thing I know, Sean, is that the Hispanic community is very similar to the Italian community.
Sure.
And I know that Enrique's mother, when I saw her on the television, and I could feel her through the screen. I wanted to, I felt every wail, every scream, every word that was coming out of her mouth. I felt her so deeply, and I know that her husband, all of their family will not stop and rest until there is justice, in my opinion.
And my thing is this: I'm talking about peaceful protests. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm just saying, get out, get a community leader in that community, right, to support the family, to bring awareness. I don't care if they have to go to New Braintree. There's 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks left of that academy class. I think the 90th class should protest. I don't think they should get up on that stage until there's an arrest. I think they should all get together, form a solidarity, say no, right? They know the battalion was there. I know what battalion was there, right? His platoon, rather. I know they know what happened, right?
Yeah.
It's a tragedy. So this is
I
crazy.
agree.
They need to get out there. They need solidarity. And I'll tell you right now, if they don't have integrity on this one, you're never going to have it. I'm sorry, I hate to say this thing. They might be afraid. This is when integrity matters the most. When you're the only one that can stand up, like Enrique did. He said, frig it, I'll fight the big dude, right? Well, then you're sitting back there and say, bastard, I'm going to get up. I'm going to tell the truth, whether they hang me, fire me, or whatever. But I'm not going to sit back. And you'll be a hero. You'll be a hero for that, whoever you are in that class, right? Right. Think about all those caps that you see every time you go to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, did they all have to leave, or were they instructor induced? Right? Is Enrique's cap up there? No, he's not up there, because now he's a trooper. Right? That was a slap in the face to that family, and I'm sorry. That's a slap. You know what that was? That was an appeasement. And I hate to say it. I hope nothing else is going on behind the doors, because stranger things happen. A little money here, we'll make this go away. We'll do things right. I'm telling you, if we don't keep shining the light, Kim, it's going to go away. We can't let it go away. And that's why I'm saying the Hispanic community, the Dominican community, the Puerto Rican community got to stand up. They got to stand up.
And we'll stand right with you. So, and then Sandra says, sending our love and thanks to you both. Keep shining the light on these mofos. Mwah. Yes. Thank you, Sandra. Maddie Wags, we've already, I think, talked about this. So, but she said, do we think our sweet baby Enrique's injuries were from the instructors? I thought they were from the other classmates. Maddie Wags, we think it was egged on by others, but it was one classmate that did that. Mike B from the 413. Hey, Mike B. Sean, put up the pic of his left knee. Let's see how the fingertips. Oh, that's what I said. Fingertip looking bruises. Right. Okay, good. Thank you, friend. AKA the cat lady. He was being held. Hey, AKA the cat lady. That's what I think potentially happened before the last. Then we have, thank you, reality check. Kim, what about the nipple displacement? Okay, I know what you're talking about. And to me, that looks like there is edema and soft tissue injury, that he had swelling, at that area. I don't know about it being displaced, but if you have a picture, please send it.
But something, Kim, we're talking 16-ounce gloves.
Kind of
impression. Maybe with the 4-ounce. Yeah, I don't know. I can ask
our next one.
I can ask my new friend.
Oh.
There's no way the 16-ounce glove is gonna look at that shoulder.
I know.
How badly beat up.
I know. BLT says a North Shore accent meets a South Shore accent with Nurse Kim and Shawnee O. Oh, gee, sorry. Keep up the good work.
It's actually Shawnee Og.
Oh, Shawnee Og.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's what he says.
The Gulf.
No. I don't know. Conor McGregor gave him that name. Shawnee Og.
Stop it.
Right hand.
Oh, my God. Listen, all right. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
listen,
I'm a little bit of nervous that you have more experience in this than I think.
I'm getting tips. I'm getting, I won't say anything.
Keep up the good work,
They'll
Justice
figure it
Enrique.
out. They'll figure it out.
And then we got Maddie Wag said, I'm confused. Do you think it's an awful fight? Is what killed sweet baby Enrique or something different at a different time? I don't know. What do you think on that one, Sean?
Here's the thing. Nothing should have happened that drastic. He should have never had a broken neck. He should have never had broken teeth. He should have never had massive brain damage, head injuries to the back of his head. He should have never had anything. Who the hell? How do you box your knee? You don't box down at the knee. He's got something wrong with that knee.
No. And if he had a pre-existing, that's another thing. If he had a pre-existing condition or anything, like he had a previous sprain, he had like, let's say an osteoarthritis of that knee, per policy and protocol, as evidenced by Todd McGee speaking, that he should have never participated in the program. If you had a pre-existing condition, you did not do it. If you had an amateur boxing history and experience, you did not do it because you knew how to what? Take a punch and throw a punch. Sure. It wasn't to teach you how to fight.
Yeah. My understanding from one of the guys that talked to another classmate said that the kid that threw the punch had experience either in MMA or boxing, or maybe both.
Well, then that's a civil suit all day.
Oh,
Sidekick
man.
Steve, yeah. Where were you wearing your Canton, Mass, butt dial capital of the world t-shirt when you saw BA? That is for Sidekick Steve is good old Davey boy. I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't. But Romy, I bet you he was. And Gray Space says, people don't want you to compare this to Karen Reed, but honestly, the parallels and the differences are undeniable and so telling. Gray Space, you just summed it up and put a bow on that. It's incredible, right, Sean? When you say 3.5 days to accuse, indict, arrest with no video, with no
frame,
nothing.
And frame.
Yes. Oh, we got this lovely Dewey says, when the higher ups, Governor, DA et al, come out and didn't say this is a shocking failure and an inexcusable event and a travesty, we will not rest until we have gotten to the bottom of this. They said it all. Dewey, right. I love you. I love your face. That is perfect. And you agree, right, Sean?
Absolutely. Listen, when you have an element that think it's state police and then God, you think Early's going to go against the troop? No way. That's what the problem is. That's the animal you're dealing with.
No, you're absolutely right. And Mike B from the 413 says, what about the medical care that MSP claims they gave? They didn't. It was 10 minutes till they called 911. Right. And they allegedly, now listen, I know about the 10 minutes, guys. That's confirmed. Right. And I am feeling very confident with Turtle Boy's reporting of that he came in with BLS trained in somebody who was just in basic life support. That's inappropriate. They have an entire medical team, okay? An entire medical team that has additional staffers at the New Braintree Academy during the academy season when school is going on. He should have been managed appropriately, and unfortunately, Mike B, he was injured too catastrophically, but that documentation in that medical record and in that transmission notes from paramedics, EMTs, and the ambulance for transport is going to be very telling as to what was going on, in my opinion. And then we have Audrey says, our motto cannot be, if you don't already have PTSD, MSP wants you. Oh my gosh, Audrey.
Well, here's the problem. I think some of these DIs that are in there, they bring their PTSD from their own class, their own experiences in Paris Island and whatever war they went to, if they did. Then they go through this training, right? They get more PTSD, and now they're inflicting it on these innocent kids.
Agreed, 100%, Sean.
Come on.
She's like Texas. Thank you so much. God bless you, Kim and Sean. Sean isn't just at pulling back the veil of corruption. He is pulling down the blackout veil of corruption. Oh, yes, he is.
Right.
I respect Sean McDonough. He is not only my friend, but he is somebody who I look up to and admire. And, you know, I don't know if we all understand really, and I know that we do, but like certain people, it is just really compelling that Sean stays with us and that he is pulling down corruption everywhere, guys. It isn't limited to Karen Reed. It isn't limited to Enrique Delgado-Garcia. He has a mission, guys. And Sean, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're making a difference, and you're doing this.
I can't get to it all. I don't have enough time in the day to get to it all. But trust me, Boston Police Department, I'm coming back. Commissioner Cox, you want to stop the bleeding? Just give me Brian Albert. Denounce Brian Albert. I won't embarrass you guys anymore. I got it all. I'm coming back harder after this poor kid gets justice, and he deserves justice. But trust me, I've got them all teed up.
Absolutely. Ditto. Thank you so much, Lovey. I love your face. And then here we go. Oh, look at Kelly says to us. Kelly Friedland says, love both of you. Thank you so much, Kelly. And then Kelly. Siobhan says, OG means, Og means young in Irish.
Yeah.
That's you. You're the young.
Young Shawnee.
That's you. Young, and you look, very youthful, Sean. Caveman says,
I'm an old man.
No, you're not. Stop it. Thank you for all your work on these cases. Thank you so much, Caveman. Susan, hey, what about his broken legs? We showed the pictures of the bruising, but we got to see that. Yeah. 911 wouldn't be called. No, they didn't have an Mike B from the 413. Worcester didn't, they said. At the training academy that they had to call out. They had to call 911.
Jesus.
They didn't have an ambulance. They have training. They have paramedics. They have a medical team. I'll clarify that though, because if you are correct, I will retract. I don't want to give you the wrong information, but I was told by Todd McGee, and I was told by somebody from the 89th that they have the medical staff, but they don't have ambulances. So they need to call in the outside source to take them, allegedly.
Any training facility. Right?
Yes.
Kim, they should, on every long run, there should be an ambulance and a medical team for any type of injury or tragedy that happens. That should be standard. It's
a multi-million-dollar facility, for Christmas sake. You know what I mean? What are we doing, Sean?
Exactly.
So so guys, we're going to take a break. We have going on to calling all beings with our friend DJ, and DJ is having, guys, this is a very big deal. I'm very excited. Sean is very excited for this show. So am I. Two or three MMA fighters?
Two
IRL, real life MMA fighters are coming to give us their take on injuries that were sustained by Enrique Delgado-Garcia and what is consistent with MMA fighting, boxing, giving us somebody who is an actual, that they have real world experience, right, Sean?
Exactly. And listen, I'm telling you right now, these guys get into it. I don't see them breaking their necks or losing their teeth or getting their shoulders black and blued. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. It had to be a bloodbath. It had to be just. I thought when I saw the injuries, I thought it was like a blanket party. Back in the day, we gave guys blanket parties, but we didn't use clubs or anything. But we give a kid a blanket party. Say, come on, kid, you're bringing our crew down. Get with it. But, woke now, you can't do that anymore. But this poor kid got beat. He got murdered, and that whoever said you cannot not call this murder. it's a murder, and that's the way it's going to be. Look at Lovely. Lovely's over there again. Look at Lovely.
Lovely.
Swedish girl. Look at that.
Thank you
Love
so much, Lovely. Thank you, lovely.
She's lovely.
And you are amazing, Kim and Sean, for all the great work and priceless work you do for truth and justice.
Yeah.
You know, lots of love to you both. Lots of love to you. Thank you so much, dear. And Sean, I love you. I'll see you at 8 o'clock on Calling All Beings.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. You're the best ever. And I'll see you in a minute.
Very good. Thank you and thank you, chat. Thank you all.
All right. Bye, Sean. Okay, lovies. So that is Mr. McDonough, the incredible, the incomparable. I apologize for audio issues, but a conversation that is different and looks different from where we were just 3-4 days ago. This is now a fire in our bellies that I had so much kind of empathy, sympathy, and compassion, which I still do, but I was literally like not well, guys, because I was getting too like so sad and very like almost like I was stuck with it, you know, and I was just so heavy on your shoulders, and I'm not the family. Who am I? Just an idiot, just Nurse Kim on the internet. And I now am, after speaking with Sean, and I'm feeling like we can channel, guys, and we're going to keep channeling. And I just want the Delgado-Garcia family to know how much we are with them, and we will not stop. And we are going to continue to dig further, dig deeper, find when we see things that don't make sense, ask those questions, babes, because this is what is going to shape the future, not only for the Commonwealth, but also for the United States. We can make a difference by punching a proctor. All right. Like we've got to say no more. I'm not going to take it. So, and with that being said, I felt it was appropriate when Dave said that we are there to support good cops. We love men and women in law enforcement who are incredible. We love our armed forces. And my father was a Marine. And when I was little, and we would go to the VFW right on Winter Street, I would say this saying. So I just remembered it, like just to think of it. But when I was little, I was like 7 and I'd get a Diet Coke. And I would say, you can have your Army khakis. You can have your Navy blues. Here's another fighting man I'll introduce to you. His uniform is different from one you've ever seen. The Germans called him Devil Dog. His real name is Marine. He trained at Paris Island, the land that God forgot. The sand was 14 inches deep. The sun was scorching hot. So listen to me, ladies. Here's a tip for you. Get yourself a young Marine. There's nothing he can't do. And when he dies and goes to heaven, St. Peter, he will tell another Marine reporting, sir, I've served my time in hell. Sound off. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love the Marine Corps. Okay. I love you so much. I love your faces. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for picking up my FaceTime. You are everything. You are the reason that we can continue to make a difference. I'll see you guys at 8 o'clock if you can. And if not, I'll see you next FaceTime.